Imagine this, you bite into a juicy jalapeno popper. Suddenly your mouth feels like a 5-alarm fire, but hold on, there's no real fire, right? So, what's going on? Your brain is playing a little trick on you. See, spicy food doesn't actually burn in the way a hot stove burns. It triggers the same sensors in your mouth that tell your brain about heat, even when there's no actual temperature change. It's like a false alarm, but for your taste buds. Think of it this way, your tongue has tiny alarm bells that go off when they sense danger. Hot peppers set off those alarms even though they're not really harmful. It's all thanks to a clever chemical called capsaicin. Capsaicin is like the prankster of the pepper world. It's the chemical compound that gives chili peppers their kick. When you eat something spicy, capsaicin binds to special receptors on your tongue called TRPV1 receptors. Now, these TRPV1 receptors are like your tongue's personal bodyguards. They're supposed to warn you about actual heat, like if you take a sip of scorching hot coffee. When they detect high temperatures, they send an urgent message to your brain. Ouch, it's hot! Here's the catch, capsaicin tricks those bodyguards. It latches onto the TRPV1 receptors and sets them off, even though there's no real heat involved. Your brain gets the hot signal and reacts accordingly, making you sweat, tear up, and reach for a glass of milk. Let's be clear. The heat you feel from a chili pepper and the heat from a hot stove are different beasts altogether. Real heat is caused by thermal energy, like the kind that makes a pot of water boil. It actually increases the temperature of things. Pepper heat, on the other hand, is a chemical reaction. Capsaicin doesn't actually change the temperature of your mouth. It just triggers those TRPV1 receptors to send a false hot signal to your brain. It's a fascinating case of sensory deception. When it comes to chili peppers, there's a whole world of flavor and fire out there. But here's the thing. Not all peppers are created equal in the spicy department. Some are so mild you could snack on them like fruit, while others pack enough heat to make even the bravest chili lover break a sweat. Take bell peppers, for example. These colorful veggies are sweet, crisp, and completely mild. In fact, they don't have any heat at all, making them a favorite for salads, stir-fries, and even as a crunchy snack on their own. You could eat a whole one without so much as a tingle on your tongue. But on the other end of the spectrum, you have peppers like the infamous ghost pepper. Just a tiny bite of this fiery chili can leave you gasping for air, eyes watering, and reaching desperately for a glass of milk. It's the kind of heat that lingers, building with every second, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart. So, how do we make sense of all these different levels of spiciness? That's where the Scoville scale comes in. This handy tool helps us measure and compare the heat of different peppers, from the mildest to the most mouth-scorching. The Scoville scale was invented way back in 1912 by a pharmacist named Wilbur Scoville. He wanted a way to quantify just how hot a pepper really is, so he developed a method to measure the spiciness or pungency of chili peppers. His work changed the way we talk about and understand spicy foods forever. The secret behind a pepper's heat is a chemical compound called capsaicin. Capsaicin is what triggers that burning sensation on your tongue and in your mouth. The more capsaicin a pepper contains, the hotter it feels when you eat it. Scientists extract this compound from peppers and use it to determine their place on the Scoville scale. The results are measured in Scoville heat units, or SU for short. The higher the SU, the more intense the heat. This scale lets us compare peppers side by side so you know exactly what you're getting into before you take a bite. For instance, a bell pepper sits right at the bottom of the scale with a score of 0 SHU. That means it has no detectable heat at all. It's all flavor, no fire, perfect for anyone who loves the taste of peppers but doesn't want any spice. Move up the scale a bit, and you'll find the jalapeno. This popular pepper is a staple in salsas, nachos, and all sorts of spicy dishes. With a Scoville rating of about 2,500 to 8,000 SHU, jalapenos offer a pleasant kick without being overwhelming. They're spicy enough to wake up your taste buds, but not so hot that you'll regret it. But if you're feeling adventurous, there are peppers that take things to a whole new level. The ghost pepper, for example, clocks in at over 1 million SHU. That's hundreds of times hotter than a jalapeno. Eating one is a true test of bravery, and it's often used in hot sauces and spicy challenges. And then there's the Carolina Reaper, currently recognized as one of the hottest peppers in the world. With a Scoville rating that can exceed 2 million SHU, this pepper is in a league of its own. Just handling it requires caution, and eating it is an experience you won't soon forget. Whether you're a fan of mild peppers or you crave the burn of the hottest chilies, the Scoville scale is your guide to understanding just how much heat you're about to experience. So next time you reach for a pepper, check its Scoville rating, and decide if you're ready for the challenge. Have you ever found yourself desperately reaching for a glass of milk after biting into something way spicier than you expected? Maybe it was a fiery hot wing, a jalapeno, or a generous helping of hot sauce on your favorite dish. If you've ever wondered why milk seems to be the ultimate lifesaver in these moments, you're not alone. Today, we're diving into the science behind why milk is your best friend after a spicy food adventure. And we'll even try a fun experiment you can do at home to see the magic in action. It's not just because milk is cold and refreshing, though that certainly helps when your mouth feels like it's on fire. There's actually a fascinating reason why milk works so well, and it all comes down to chemistry. Milk contains a special protein called casein. Think of casein as a tiny superhero ready to swoop in and save your taste buds from the burning sensation caused by spicy foods. When you eat something spicy, the heat comes from a compound called capsaicin, which is found in chili peppers. Capsaicin is oily and sticks to the inside of your mouth, making the burning feeling last. Let's put this to the test with a simple experiment you can try at home. It's a great way to see for yourself why milk is so effective at cooling down spicy foods, and it's also a fun activity to do with friends or family. First, gather your supplies. You'll need 2 small glasses, one for milk and one for water, a spicy snack of your choice, hot sauce, spicy chips, or even a slice of chili pepper, and a sense of adventure. Set everything up on your kitchen table so you're ready to go. Take a bite of your spicy treat. Feel that heat building up? That's the capsaicin at work, latching onto the receptors in your mouth and sending signals to your brain that say, "This is hot." Now quickly take a sip of water. Notice what happens. Does the burning sensation go away, or does it just move around your mouth? Most people find that water doesn't really help much. In fact, it can sometimes make things feel even worse. Next, take a sip of milk. Instantly, you'll probably feel a wave of relief as the burning starts to fade. That's the casein in action, working its magic to calm the fire. You'll notice that milk does a much better job of calming the burn compared to water. But why is that? Let's take a closer look at what's happening inside your mouth. Casein molecules in milk are really good at binding to capsaicin molecules. Imagine casein as a team of tiny sponges, soaking up the capsaicin and breaking its grip on your mouth's receptors. As the casein surrounds the capsaicin, it helps lift it away from your mouth's sensitive tissues. When you swallow the milk, you're actually washing away the source of the burn, not just masking it. That's why milk is so effective at putting out the fire in your mouth. Water, on the other hand, doesn't mix well with oily capsaicin. Instead of washing it away, water just spreads the capsaicin around, making the burning sensation last even longer. That's why reaching for water after something spicy often leaves you disappointed and still on fire. So the next time you're faced with a spicy food challenge, remember the science behind your glass of milk. With casein on your side, you'll be ready to tackle even the hottest bites with confidence. Feeling adventurous? If you're the kind of person who loves a kitchen challenge and isn't afraid to experiment, you're in for a treat. Today, we're diving into the spicy world of capsaicin, the compound that gives chili peppers their fiery kick. And guess what? You can actually extract pure capsaicin right at home, turning your kitchen into a mini science lab. Extracting capsaicin at home is a fascinating project for anyone who loves food science or wants to create their own ultra-spicy concoctions. But before you get started, it's important to know what you're dealing with. Capsaicin is incredibly potent. Even a tiny amount can cause intense burning sensations on your skin, eyes, or anywhere it comes in contact with, so a word of caution: treat this stuff with respect. Safety first, always. Before you even touch a pepper, make sure you're wearing gloves to protect your hands, and safety goggles to shield your eyes from any accidental splashes or fumes. It's also a good idea to wear a mask if you're sensitive to strong odors, and always work in a well-ventilated area to avoid inhaling any spicy vapors. So, step 1. Gear up. Pull on those nitrile gloves, slip on your safety glasses, and make sure your workspace is clear of anything you don't want to accidentally spice up. Seriously, don't skip this step. Even a small mistake can lead to a very uncomfortable experience. Trust me, you don't want to find out what capsaicin feels like in your eyes or on your skin. Next, select your peppers. The hotter the pepper, the more capsaicin you'll extract. Habaneros, ghost peppers, or even Carolina Reapers are great choices if you're feeling brave. Finely chop your chosen peppers. This increases the surface area and helps the alcohol pull out as much capsaicin as possible. Place the chopped peppers into a clean glass jar. Now, pour in enough high-proof alcohol, like Everclear or another food-safe spirit, to completely cover the peppers. The alcohol acts as a solvent, drawing out the capsaicin and other spicy compounds from the pepper flesh and seeds. Seal the jar tightly to prevent any fumes from escaping, and store it in a cool, dark place. Over the next 2 to 3 weeks, give the jar a gentle shake every day. This helps the alcohol circulate and extract as much capsaicin as possible. Patience is key here. The longer you let it sit, the stronger your extract will be. After a few weeks, it's time to separate the liquid from the solids. Carefully strain the mixture through a cheesecloth-lined funnel into a clean jar. This will remove all the pepper bits, leaving you with a fiery, capsaicin-rich liquid. Now let the alcohol evaporate naturally in a well-ventilated area. Never use heat or an open flame, as alcohol vapors are highly flammable. Just leave the jar open in a safe spot, and over several days the alcohol will slowly disappear, leaving behind a concentrated capsaicin extract. What you'll find at the bottom is a potent, bright red residue. This is your homemade capsaicin extract. It's extremely concentrated, so handle it with care. Remember, this extract is not for the faint of heart. Just a drop or two can add intense heat to any dish, and it can be dangerous if misused. Always label your jar clearly and keep it out of reach of children and pets. You can use your capsaicin extract to supercharge your favorite hot sauce, spice up a pot of chili, or even create your own homemade pain relief creams. Capsaicin is the active ingredient in many topical creams used to relieve muscle and joint pain. When applied topically, capsaicin can help block pain signals and provide relief for sore muscles. Just remember, always wash your hands thoroughly after handling the extract, and never touch your face or eyes until you've done so. With the right precautions, you can safely explore the world of DIY capsaicin extraction and add a whole new level of heat to your culinary and wellness adventures. Spicy food is a bit like a roller coaster. Some people can't get enough of the thrill, while others prefer a more gentle ride. Whether you're a seasoned chili champ who laughs in the face of fire, or a mild-mannered eater who prefers just a hint of heat, there's really no right or wrong answer. So tell me, which camp are you in? Do you crave the fiery kiss of a habanero, or does a sprinkle of black pepper suffice? Let's hear it in the comments.